everybody, welcome back to the All Things Good channel and to another video. Hope you are all doing really well, and if you are new to the channel, a very, very warm welcome to the All Things Good channel, where we try to keep things all things good. Simple, really. Hope you've all had a really good week this week. I've had a very, very good week this week, very productive. Had a lovely Easter break as well, which was great. Well needed after my illness last week, but fighting fit, all is well, and it's been really nice to have a lovely break. Done lots of jobs in that time as well. Got lots of cleaning to show you this week. Also helped Paul in his house. As you know, he's recently moved into a new property that he's renting at the moment, but it needed a good clean. So with the bank holiday and the time that we've had, I've helped him a little bit at his house as well. So I've got that to show you. Some nice deliveries as well, of course. And well, I've got the last few days left with my boy before he goes back to university, so I'm making the most of that. So all in all, very, very busy as usual. So let's get into this week's video. I hope you enjoy it.
Oh God, I brought this. Is anything coming out of the kitchen? Oh my God. Mum's managed to bring the entire contents of her bedroom out with us this morning in a handbag, including a great big hairspray. And brush. And well, it is a bit windy outside. You never know, you might need to brush your hair and put a bit of hairspray on. I had Bridget Jones' hair yesterday. And the shopping bag. Well, we need the shopping bag because we are going shopping. Yes. So, how are you, Mum? Not too bad. Did you enjoy Easter? Very much so, did you? Yes, it's been a lovely weekend. Yes, we had nice dinner, didn't we? Lamb dinner. Oh, definitely, gorgeous. And you got to see all your services that you wanted to see. Yes. Yeah, I have. Good. Anything nice on there? It's a miracle I've found it in this handbag. What were the contents of the bedroom inside? Oh, you do make me laugh. You haven't got gin on the list this week. You've got enough of that, haven't you? I'll put it on the list every week. No, I've got enough. Good. I had a very nice gin and tonic. Well, it's nice. I mean, that's what I have. I'm not an alcoholic. No, we know that. I just like it. Gin and tonic. I had a very nice grapefruit flavoured gin in the pub on Friday night with fresh pieces of grapefruit in it. Oh, lovely. It was delicious. So refreshing. You can't be doing that without me. If you do that, you'll be in trouble. Right, okay. We'll take you to the pub, don't worry. Okay. I might take you next Sunday, actually. Okay. Perhaps have a garden centre or something. Yeah, or we could always have a pub dinner at tea out, or go to the pub for a drink, or do something like that. Yeah. Garden centre and go for a drink on the way back, or something like that. Be nice, wouldn't it? Sound like a plan. Yeah. So Adam's going back to Exeter on Thursday. Right. So we've just got today and tomorrow with him. Yes. And then he's off again, Mum. Never stops, does he? No. Well, he's becoming a traveller. I know. So Grace went to pick Adam up. But no, it's on Sunday because she's always been good. And she's suddenly so capable. Yeah, she's wonderful. This last 12 months really, she's absolutely wonderful. Oh, thank you. Have your voice today, you know. Swallowed a frog. Definitely. It could be hay fever. The pollen count's very high. But yes, this last 12 months, Grace has got very confident, hasn't she? Yes. I think sort of once she's gone through college and started to drive. And I think when she was working in the hotel, meeting people. Well, she went to France, didn't she? She worked in a hotel in France for a while, and that sort of, it's good. You know, it was a great experience. people. Interesting. You mingle with a lot of people and you become very social very quickly, I think.
Yes.
But she's got a lot of confidence about her now. She's got a good balance of everything going on, I think.
Definitely. Okay. That means being sophisticated like that, it would take you anywhere.
Yeah, that's true. That is.
It's like if you've got confidence, you are able to converse with anybody at any level.
Yeah, it's
Like you've always had it.
You know,
I think I brought you up like that. You and Sarah. You always had plenty of
sort
confidence.
of worldly intelligence.
Yeah.
Which can be different from an academic intelligence, although she's very bright as well.
Yeah.
To sort of be quite, have your wits about you and be worldly. Well, it's really imperative in this day and age as well, isn't it?
I'll say.
Imperative.
Absolutely.
And she's got it all going on, really. So I'm very, very proud of her.
Absolutely.
Very proud of them both.
Good morning. This morning I am at Paul's house, aka the Invisible Chef, and I am going to help him do a little bit of a deep clean in this property that he's now in. He's just renting for the moment, so most of the contents and the furniture are not his, but they were already here and it's been a little bit neglected. So we're going to start on the lounge first of all, and I'm going to help him do a deep clean. He's just in the kitchen cooking my breakfast. So what's a girl to do other than help? So I'll show you a little bit of the lounge before, show you how I'm going to deep clean it and make this more livable and homely and just how he would like it. The lovely thing about this room is it has a beautiful large window. Now we did actually clean the windows last week because they were really dirty, and nothing we can do about the decor, unfortunately. It's a little bit subject to taste, but I've just recently bought Paul this lamp that's in the corner. We need to get some logs or something for the empty fireplace here. We're going to change the mirror at some point, but not today. I think I was telling you before about how there's black furniture in here, but a cream leather sofa, which is quite dirty as well, so that needs cleaning. There's the plant that we bought not too long ago in IKEA. And the rug has had one clean with the fax machine, but it's still quite grubby. So I'm going to attempt to get some of these extra marks off here as well. But it is actually a lovely big room. This bookcase we have already sorted out with bits and pieces we got from the range last week. And up here, Paul wants to put some pictures he's got of his girls and his family. So let's get cracking on cleaning this up.
I saw a light when you passed me by. The reason why I shine, you're the reason why. I thought I caught your eyes, the love is blind. I thought I saw you smile.
quite a lot of hard work. All the cobwebs were done, everything was cleaned, all the skirting boards, the floor was swept and mopped as well, and it came up to a beautiful shine. And I think Paul was pretty happy with the results. Then I left it up to Paul to put all his furniture back where he wanted and his accessories. The pictures went up on the wall of his family, which he loved, and it's really starting to feel like home for him now. So when it comes to cleaning the bathrooms in your home, particularly after illness, it's very, very important to follow a few very simple but important steps to keep the rest of the household safe in case what you have had is contagious. If it's a bug or a stomach flu, something like that, which, as you know, I had last week. My bathroom has been cleaned numerous occasions since last week, but I'm going to show you a few of my favourite products. And these are things that I would use weekly generally, but certainly after illness, I make sure I give everything a super duper clean down and disinfect everything. And also, there's other things to remember that you may not automatically think of, like door handles, kitchen worktops, stairway banisters, all the things that you might touch, you potentially are contagious everywhere you put your hands. So it's wise to go around everything. Takes a long time after someone's been ill in the house just to make sure that everywhere that is communally touched isn't going to pass something on, because viruses can actually last on surfaces for some time. So a few of my favourite go-to products weekly and particularly after illness. First of all, the toilet. You can't beat bleach, to be honest with you. And I always keep a bottle of bleach in the bathroom, but I always have it downstairs in my cleaning cupboard as well. So what you want to do is put the bleach all around the rim of the toilet inside the bowl, as obviously, but you want to leave it there for some time. Most cleaning products don't actually work directly on surface. You have to leave them for a period of time in order for those antibacterial properties in the chemicals to actually work. So I do the inside of the toilet, then I spray the entire toilet with a spray bleach, and I leave it on for about between 5 and 6 minutes. Then I give it another quick spray just in case it's dried up slightly, and then I wipe it all down. Now, the other thing I do when doing the toilets is on a weekly basis, I will use a cloth, and I always use a red or pink coloured cloth because I associate red with danger, so I know not to use that anywhere else in the bathroom. But after illness, the best thing to do is to actually use a kitchen towel to wipe away the product. That way you can throw the kitchen towel away. You can always redo it with a cloth, but you know that should there be any nasty bugs and germs, they're not going to be on your cloth. You will have actually thrown it away. So I always do the toilets with kitchen towel initially when someone's been ill. The other thing you can use if you don't like bleach, and I know a lot of people don't, but it really is the best thing, particularly after illness, is use something like a concentrated disinfectant like Zoflora. This will actually take away 99.9% of bacteria, but again, you need to leave the product on for a few minutes in order for those chemicals to do their job. So Zoflora is another good one, or the Dettol surface spray, and this leaves no taint and no odour, so it cleans away very well. It doesn't contain any bleach, but it will kill colds and flu virus, and it will also kill COVID as well, as most disinfectants will do. And then for the rest of the bathroom, I do use Zoflora on the sinks and the taps, especially after illness. If there's no illness and it's a general clean, I will use something like Flash, and I'm loving the spray wipe done at the moment. This is in Alpine Fresh, doesn't contain any antibacterial properties, so it's just for clean and shine, but I do love it and it makes the bathroom smell really, really nice. And where mirrors are concerned, I always use white vinegar, and I actually
decant mine into one of these sprays, which is actually a hairdresser's spray, but I'll link the description for this down below. They're off Amazon. They're really, really useful. So I use, well, as you know, I use white vinegar on my stainless steel and my glass and obviously my mirrors, so that's a good one. Floors, again, bathroom floor, when it comes to illness, I will do my bathroom floor with Zoflora, but generally throughout the whole of the week I just use a floor cleaner, and I find Flash is the best for shine and smells lovely as well. I always buy that one, Crisp Lemon. And then in here I've just got another Zoflora, which is Lemon Zing. So I'm going to crack on with the toilet and the sink in here today. My shower's already been cleaned. Again, I use white vinegar in there, but then I will make sure that I do all the door handles in the house, the banister, and also when you come to do your laundry after illness, if you are stripping your bed and it's a bed that you've been in while you've been poorly, it's always a good idea to do your linen, bed linen, on very, very hot wash, either a 60 or 90 degree. I know it's not very eco-friendly, but a one-off perhaps for after illness. And also within that I use a Dettol laundry cleaner, which removes any viruses and bugs and nasty things as well. Wash on 90 degrees with a biological washing powder or liquid and some fabric conditioner as well. So let's get cracking. Most importantly, first job, put rubber gloves on as well. If there are any nasties on there, we don't want to get them back, do we?
If you're thinking about leaving, let me know. If you're thinking that you don't wanna hurt me, coward, I'm getting bored. 'Cause I can find another, so don't hold me back. You're not allowed to spend my time, 'cause that is what you came here for. Oh, this is what we gonna do. You never come clean and you never come through. Take your shit and don't come back. Looking so surprised how you could do me like that. You think it was all up to you. Give me some space, I don't care what you do. And give me back my money too. 'Cause I'm a going out tonight. I'm leaving all behind. I'm gonna leave it all, yeah. I won't let him get into my mind. No, he thinks he can, 'cause he's a man, but he is just a boy. No, won't let it steal away my shine now. I know you're thinking about me from time to time. Before you do anything stupid, think before you speak your mind. 'Cause I am on a roll, yeah, so don't hold me back. You're not allowed to spend my time, 'cause that is what you came here for, right? Oh yeah, this is what we gonna do. Oh, you never come clean and you never come through, yeah. And don't come back. Oh, you're looking so surprised like you could do me like that. It was all up to you. Oh, give me some space, I don't care what you do. Give me back my money too. 'Cause I'm a going out tonight. Leave it all behind. I'm gonna leave it all behind. I won't let him get into my mind, no, yeah. He thinks he can, he's your man. Oh, won't let it steal away my shine now. Get up and try again. Oh, I won't let him get into my mind now.
You know me and coffee, the perfect combination, especially first thing in the morning. It isn't first thing in the morning, however, it's a bit later on in the day, but I have just done a little browse around the St Giles Hospice charity shop in Lichfield. Had to go into Lichfield with Mom to do a couple of bits and pieces, but nothing exciting and nothing that I filmed. But I did make a purchase in the hospice charity shop today. Look at these. They are, I think, a bit of a Emma Bridgewater dupe. And I found these plates, you know, the Emma Bridgewater plates. If I can, I will link another picture up here of actual Emma Bridgewater plates. But I thought these were very, very similar with the wording around the edges. They're a bit grubby actually, they're a bit dirty. So I'm going to put them through the dishwasher. I might just hand wash them. But it says eat, drink and enjoy, eat, drink and enjoy. And I got 4 of them for the bargain price of £1 each. £1 each. £4. I actually gave them a fiver because, well, I did. I got 4 and they're all absolutely fine. But I did think they were very Emma Bridgewater. They're not, because they haven't got any marking or label on at all. But very similar, aren't they? So I really like those. And as day-to-day plates, well, and I'm supporting the hospice shop. Couldn't be better. And then the next thing that I bought this week is a little bit more expensive. But I found this company on Instagram. Again, I shall link the description and the price for these below, but I absolutely love them. I bought 2 pairs of flip-flops, and they're actually called Archies. And the reason they are called Archies is because normal flat flip-flops don't offer your feet any support whatsoever. And they commonly lose their straps. You know how they can pop out of here? But these are a sealed strap, so they don't break here, which is very handy. If you're on holiday on walkabouts, your flip-flop breaks and you've got no other shoes to put on. Trust me, I've been there. So flip-flops have no support in them whatsoever. But of course, it's what we want to wear on holiday, isn't it? So with these Archies, you actually get a real arch support, if you can see, but they're still quite slim like a flip-flop, which is great. But they have a slightly elevated heel, which helps reduce stress on the calf and the Achilles tendons. It's great for people with Achilles tendonitis. They're very, very, very lightweight. There's no grabbing with your toes, and the specialized material molds to your feet. So the closed cell foam material in the product is formulated to mold to your foot. So once it does, you'll never want to take your Archies flip-flops off. Of course, designed and made originally in Australia. And as I said, I found them on Instagram, and they do loads and loads of different colours, but I really liked this pale blue colour, and I always go for white on holiday as well. But I really like those, but they've got pink, orange, yellow, blue, you name it, they've got it. Absolutely fantastic. So as I say, I shall link the description down below for you. But these are so comfortable, the most comfortable flip-flops I have ever tried on in my life. And I'm absolutely thrilled to bits with them. And it's only about 6 weeks or 7 weeks to my holiday, 6 weeks to my holiday. So boy, am I looking forward to that. Those are my purchases for this week. So here we are having our moment on the bed. And this week, I can't stop eating. After my illness last week, well, I didn't eat between Sunday and Thursday, I think. And then when I did start eating, I was kind of just eating for the sake of it. I didn't really have much of an appetite. So it really took till the weekend to get my appetite back. But this week, I can't stop eating. Now, clearly we've had Easter, so I did indulge in quite a bit of chocolate. And now that the chocolate's all gone, all I'm doing is craving chocolate. So, but I just can't stop eating, and it's got to stop, or else not only will I not get into my bikini for that holiday, I won't even fit in the flip-flops. So I've got to try and rein this in. But it's nice to know that I am obviously feeling well and appetite has returned, and Grace is all better finally. That's taken a really long time for Grace to get completely better. It's been a long old haul for her, that has. So as it stands at the moment, everybody is well and all things are good. Adam has now gone back to Exeter. I took him to the train station this morning, and it's always sad. And I always shed a little tear, whether he sees it or not. But hopefully it won't be too long before I see him again. In fact, he might come home for a week next month because he's got to do exams and dissertations. But if his house is full in Exeter, he can't always find peace and quiet. So he might actually come home to do those. But I'm not sure yet. He hasn't decided for sure. But if that is the case, it'll only be a month before I see him. So that's good. And what I really wanted to chat about today is charity, because you know that I love going to the Chazza shops, and I particularly love going to the St Giles Hospice charity shops, because St Giles Hospice, for those of you that don't know, is where my sister passed away back in 2013, and she was only in the hospice for 5 days before she passed away. But she'd had the support of their palliative care team for some time before that. Obviously, Sarah had bowel cancer. She was diagnosed when she was 43 and passed away when she was just 46. So actually from diagnosis to passing away was just over 18 months. So it's very, very quick. And also symptomless in the onset. So just as an add-on here, bowel cancer obviously very prevalent in our news of late in this country, and particularly with you know, celebrities and famous people sort of constantly telling us what to look out for and all the rest of it, and that's great and it's wonderful and it's very important. But my sister didn't have any of the classic bowel cancer symptoms, unfortunately. She had what started with water infection symptoms and flu-like symptoms. And it was very strange because she was on holiday when actually she felt ill, and she was diagnosed as having a water infection. But my sister actually worked in a medical centre, a doctor's medical centre. She'd worked for the NHS for over 30 years, and she was a practice manager in her last job at a medical centre. And when she returned from this particular holiday abroad, she didn't feel refreshed from it. She felt very, very tired. And one day, one of the nurses at the surgery suggested that she just does a regular blood test for her, because my sister, a bit like me, often suffered with anemia and low iron. So Sarah thought possibly that was the case. Her iron was very low again. But anyway, she had her bloods done, and cut a very long story short, a few days later, this nurse came into her and said that she needed to go up to the hospital because the bloods were all over the place. And what resulted after that was about 6 weeks of scans, and the scans were getting bigger each time. So it started with an ultrasound, it moved on to MRI, then PET scan, CAT scan, to the point where her whole body had been scanned. And we realised at that point that something wasn't quite right to warrant all these scans. And then we found out she actually had bowel cancer, but it was secondary at the point of diagnosis. So she knew from the onset that she was terminally ill, but she was also given a prognosis of possibly up to 5 years, but she passed away within 18 months of that. So that was very difficult, obviously, but we had a lot of help from Macmillan, Marie Curie, and the local St Giles Hospice. And when Sarah passed away, I donated a lot of her furniture from her apartment and all her clothing and some other bits and pieces as well. And we've continued to support them over the past 10 years, whether it's donating things to them or purchasing from them as well. And what was shocking to me when Sarah was in the hospice, I remember it was a couple of days before she died, and she really wanted a bath, but at this point she had no mobility left. So one of the nurses very kindly said, yeah, let's go and have a bath. Let's take you in there. And when I say a bath, I'm not talking your average bathroom bath. I'm talking a bath that could move, a bath that had a sort of hammock
that you could be on to lower you into the bath for people that didn't have any mobility. There was lights on the ceiling. The bath was like a jacuzzi. It was warm. It had bubbles. It was a beautiful moment and very relaxing for Sarah. And I remember the nurse being lovely, and she said to us, I'll leave you both to it. You can sit with your sister and relax. And Sarah loved it, and I washed her hair, and we chatted about holidays we'd had in the past and all sorts of different things, as I'm sure you can imagine, conversations that I will never, ever, ever forget. But I remember thinking to myself, this is an incredible piece of machinery, one of probably hundreds of different things in this hospice, most of which I probably wouldn't even know, hadn't even seen. But it just stood out to me that this was an amazing piece of equipment. And the nurse came back into the room, and I said, out of curiosity, how much would this bath cost? And she said, oh, it's just under £1 million. Well, I was flabbergasted, to say the least. And we had further conversations, and I kept saying, well, what does this cost? And how much does this cost? And I stayed at the hospice day in, day out for the 5 days that Sarah was there. They fed me as well as the rest of the family when I was there. I didn't even ask for it. Some days they'd just come into Sarah's room and they'd present me with a roast dinner and say, here you are, Polly, you need to eat. Everybody, the whole family, was treated with the utmost dignity and respect. These are highly trained palliative care nurses. But the porters were wonderful. The cleaners were lovely. Everybody played a massive part in making Sarah's last days so comfortable. And I asked how much it cost for Sarah to be there for 5 days. And it was just under £15,000 for the one patient for 5 days. And this is an organisation that doesn't get any government funding whatsoever and is solely reliant on charity and donation. I don't know about you, but I can't figure out what part of that is right, but it's the way it is. Having said that, I sometimes have an issue with charity, and I just wondered what your thoughts were, really, because you look at the bigger organisations, let's say cancer research, and there's adverts on the television, there's so much money spent on marketing that these companies, charities, must be controlled by CEOs that I would imagine are on very big salaries and bonuses. And I have a bit of a issue with all of that, the bigger charities, and how much gets spent on things that aren't directly related to the research of cancer research or going to the people that need it. But then we need the cancer research and we need to know more about these things. But I always feel that the bigger corporate charities, I don't really know how much good they are doing. Does that make sense to you? I'm not sure whether it does. But when I've seen firsthand what a small hospice does for our local community, people that need them, and they don't get anything other than donation, to me that's different. And I have absolutely no issue with donating what I can and doing a very small part, I'm sure. I buy their summer raffle tickets, I buy their Christmas raffle tickets, I donate as much as I can throughout the year. Anything that I no longer need tends to go to that charity. And there are so many other charities that are small and significant and don't get a look in. But I'm really intrigued to know what your thoughts are on charity. Do you donate to charity? And if you do you have a particular one or a selection, or do you know more about it? Can you tell me more about the sort of bigger corporate companies, charities? Because I don't know, I don't always give to everybody. But I was in Lichfield today, and there's that many homeless people on the streets, as there are everywhere in this country, which to me is a disgrace. We should not have homeless people at all. in this country. But we do, and I gave some money to 2 of them today. And you could argue, why would you do that? Is that person just going to use that money on drugs or alcohol? You know, why are they there in the first place? However, maybe they do spend it on drugs and alcohol. But if that's what they need to get through their day, something awful has put them in that position in the first place. And if that's what they need to get through their day, then so be it. I'm not to judge how they spend that money. But to me, giving that money to the man on the street, does that mean more than giving £10 to cancer research? I don't know. I don't know whether any of you have the same sort of debate about it. But anyway, that's my kind of big thought of the week. My big thought of the week. But I do love the St Giles Hospice shops. And as I say, we've got one in Lichfield, and well, there's 2 actually in Lichfield. One is there's 3 in Lichfield Town Centre. There's a small shop, little charity shop. There's a St Giles bookshop, and then there's the furniture shop as well. And then the big one we go to, which is in Mere Green in St Coldfield, has everything. It takes you ages to get around. It's huge. But, you know, that's what I do. And as you know, and if you've watched my videos for the past year or more, you will see some of the things I have bought have been amazing. I've bought designer goods. I've bought things that originally would have cost somebody a fortune. They look practically brand new. I have some beautiful, beautiful things from the St Giles Hospice shop. So I will continue to support them because obviously it's very personal to me as well. So anyway, it's just a thought of the week, really, what you think about giving to charity. Interesting. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this week's video. Lots of cleaning. I've done lots of spring cleaning this week. And I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do next week, actually, yet. No Invisible Chef this week. Been very, very busy with our own thing this week and work and what have you. But we'll get our heads together and come up with something very, very soon to show you, because he is a fantastic cook and he loves doing it. Absolutely loves doing it. But what we'd also like are some suggestions from you as well. If there's something you would like to see Paul tackle in the kitchen, let me know and we will do it as well. Anyway, I hope you have all had a lovely week, regardless of the weather, wherever you are. It's not been great here. When it is lovely, it's lovely. The sun comes out and it's gorgeous and bright, but then we are having torrential April showers, and that kind of, you know, hinders the day a little bit. But hopefully next week it's going to pick up a little bit. So I am determined to get in that garden at some point. Lots of jobs to do there, but I hope you have all had a really good week anyway. Thank you so much for joining me again this week. I hope you've enjoyed this week's video, and I will be back next Sunday, same time, same place. So until then, stay safe, stay in the boat, and keep doing all things good, and I will see you next week. Thank you for joining me. Take care. Bye.